What's happening, beautiful people? Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the European trading session. We're 10 minutes after 10, and the sell-off continues on all fronts with the European stocks seen lower today by analysts after heavy losses on Wall Street overnight. European currencies continued the downtrend on both US and Asian session. Oil extends losses after weak crude oil inventories that are trading again at 39.50 with potential to the downside as oil markets seem oversupplied and demand is weaker than expected. With a few important announcements in the economic calendar today, many traders are waiting for potential breakouts or reversals. Good morning, everyone, and let's see how the markets opened today. There we are. Looking at crude oil, we see crude oil currently trading at 39.62 after dropping overnight following weak data from the crude oil inventories. The euro had a very good opening today after suffering the entire night on the American session and the Asian session losses. We see the RSI and the stochastic pointing higher sharply, and we see the positive opening on the euro. Will the upward momentum continue today? Will the European currencies gain some of the losses they had overnight? Only time will tell. We have a few announcements in the economic calendar, guys. Very important today. We will get to the economic calendar in a minute and see what is expected to happen. Looking at the pound, we see a very, very strong opening on the pound today, currently trading at 127.30. Apparently, it had a push of 30 pips in the last 10-15 minutes after the opening. Let's see if that will continue. We're going to get some trading signals today. It's going to be amazing. USD JPY, on the other hand, dropped a bit overnight. And it's still undecided as things stand right now with the RSI and the stochastic way in the oversold levels. Let's see if the US dollar will break the 105.19 barrier today. Then most likely we will see trading lower towards the 104.93, which is the previous support level. The Aussie dollar again lost, just like the European currencies, lost a lot of ground overnight versus the US dollar. We see a bit of a push, a very, very shy push this morning at the European opening, currently trading at 0.7044, but still in a clear downtrend. You can see it on all time frames, guys. Okay, 15 minutes charts, 1 hour charts, and also a 4-hour chart. There you go. You can see the sharp drop. Now, the Aussie dollar is very, very close to a support level at 0.70 flat. Okay, so it's only 46 pips away from that level. The RSI and the stochastic, even on a 4-hour chart, are showing it way oversold after having this sharp drop for the last 3 days. Let's see what's going to happen today. Hopefully, with a bit of luck, we're going to see some corrections happening, some reversals, okay, or some of sorts. And that should give long traders a bit of profits. On the other hand, we're looking at the USD Canadian, guys, on a 4-hour chart, currently trading at 134 flat. Okay, we can see a correction of 100% almost, judging by this peak in the left, and a correction of about 80%, if I'm not mistaken, judging by the higher peak in the left. Now, by the looks of it, the USD on a 4-hour chart is targeting the 134.93 level, which is the previous resistance level. Let's see if it's going to get there. We see the RSI and the stochastic way overbought, guys, and they're slowly turning around, indicating a bit of a correction. A small correction is expected after such a rally of the markets of 7-8 hours. Let's decrease the time frame to a 1-hour chart and see. There you go, guys. Okay, apparently the RSI and the stochastic are turning around on a 1-hour chart. So very likely we're going to see a bit of a pullback today, short term. Okay, probably for the short term, some traders will target the 133.47 level, which is there. Moving on, the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones again closed the day in red yesterday, guys. We saw a good rally of the S&P 500 shortly after the American opening, but as the trading session went on, it couldn't sustain the gains, giving up all the gains towards the end of the U.S. session and closing the day at 36.92 with the RSI and the stochastic still pointing downwards. There's the Dow Jones again. The Dow Jones basically did the same thing as the S&P 500, closing the day in red at 26,763 from what we see there, and potentially pushing even lower today. The US dollar index again traded higher overnight, all the way up to 94.56. We see it giving back the gains at the US, at the European opening, with the RSI and the stochastic again turning around and pointing downwards. So probably there is a bit of a correction on the markets today. If we decrease the time frame slightly, let's go on a 5-minute chart, guys. Okay, this was the European opening. We can see 3 red candlesticks, or 4 candlesticks pointing lower. And the most recent candlestick is a green one, but judging by the spike, there's not enough buying power on the markets to push the US dollar index higher. Before we move on to gold, guys, please remember to like, share, and subscribe everywhere you come across these videos. Find us on YouTube, guys. Like, share, subscribe, and support us in delivering more content. The question of the day, guys, the trivia question of the day is: when is the non-farm payroll being announced, guys? The non-farm payroll is one of the biggest American announcements. When is it announced? When is the non-farm payroll announced, guys? This is the question of the day. Feel free to type your answers, interact with me, and you might win an amazing prize. Right, as promised, moving on to gold futures, guys. We see gold trading even lower at 1859. Very little gains overnight for gold. Still under pressure with the RSI and the stochastic not being able to go all the way into the overbought levels, which usually signals a downtrend, a strong downtrend. On a 15-minute chart, on a 1-hour chart, we see the RSI and the stochastic turning around slightly. Probably we're going to see a bit of a correction on gold futures later on today. I'm just zooming out a bit to try and understand the levels where gold is trading at. Right, in this case, probably if we're going to see a shy correction, probably gold will push higher, only 20-30 points, very likely stopping at the 1880 mark. Okay, but let's not forget it can still continue the downtrend. Without a strong confirmation from US, guys, it's very difficult to predict where gold is going. You can do technical analysis and take the chances, but positioning yourself on the market at the right time is going to be a bit more difficult than usual. We're going back to the Brent oil futures, which just as crude oil are trading slightly lower than yesterday, giving up some gains, very little gains. They had overnight, currently trading at 41.51. Okay, still the markets haven't decided exactly where the price should go, as the markets tend to be a bit oversupplied, guys, and the demand is fading every day. Silver, on the other hand, just like gold, suffered a bit of losses overnight, with the RSI and the stochastic currently pointing upwards, being way in the oversold levels. We see a shy correction starting now after the European opening. There you go. Yeah, if this correction will continue, then very likely traders will eye the 2270 mark, or 2272, somewhere in that region. Okay, or just a tad lower. If you want to be very conservative, guys, yeah, if you believe this correction will last for a bit longer, then you might want to set your take profits slightly lower than the previous highs, just in case the downtrend will continue and you still want to catch a bit of movement from the market. Your favorite Bitcoin, guys, dropped a bit overnight, currently trading at $10,335. So the Bitcoin dropped about $250 since last night. Again, Bitcoin seems to be in an uptrend, guys, but as you see here, it's ranging for a long period of time. Yeah, this ranging market between 10,400 and 10,553 lasted for about a week. Okay, and then there you have it. Bitcoin dropped another floor. Okay, currently pushing higher. Let's see. Apparently, the investors are really spooked by what's happening around the world. and they don't have a lot of volume on cryptocurrencies as things stand right now. But again, I must remind you guys, cryptocurrencies are the only asset class that have the ability of jumping up and down 500 to $1,000 within a few hours. Right, let's see what's expected in the economic calendar today, guys. We have in 6 minutes from now, we have the interest rate decision on the Swiss franc, okay, which finally enough does not have a forecast. We see a previous of negative 0.75%. We don't see a forecast, and we're going to see an actual to be released in 5 minutes from now. In 35 minutes from now, we have the German business expectations, which is very, very important for the euro. And of course, the German IFO business climate is again very important for the euro and for the eurozone. Okay, as it reflects the strength, yeah, the business climate index, yeah, the business expectations. Okay, considering we have a slowing down economy in the eurozone and as well in the US. Okay, let's see if the figures come out in green, guys. Then very, very likely we're going to see a tiny, tiny correction, a more accelerated correction on the euro. Let's put it that way. Okay, even if the markets are correcting a tiny, tiny bit ahead of the announcement. Again, in 34 minutes, we're going to have an ECB economic bulletin. Let's see what they will discuss, what will be the projections for the economy, judging by how the things are going in Europe in the last week or so, guys. I don't know if we should be very, very excited, if we should expect really strong figures and really strong economic projections when everyone is complaining about a potential second lockdown this year. Right, now we have initial jobless claims at 3:30 GMT plus 3, which is very, very important for the US dollar. Guys, we had a forecast of 840,000 jobs and a previous of 860,000 jobs. Let's see how the initial jobless claims will come out today, and that will definitely wait on the US dollar. Later on today, we have the last day of Federal Chairman Jerome Powell testifying in front of the committee, followed by new sales and new home sales. Okay, and again, followed by a speech from Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin. Okay, very, very big volatility in the afternoon on the US dollar front, guys. And at 2100 hours GMT plus 3, we have the FOMC member Williams holding a press conference. This is what is happening today. So in half an hour, guys, quite a few announcements on the euro in the eurozone, which if they come out in green, hopefully they will give the euro a bit of a boost to recover the losses it suffered overnight. And in the afternoon, we have, apart from the Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell testifying, we have the new home sales, the initial jobless claims, and another press conference. So stay tuned, guys. It's going to be an amazing day. Now, let's see what happened overnight. Okay, we see at 2 a.m. Eastern time, DAX futures contract in Germany trading 0.3% lower, CAC 40 futures in France dropping 1%, and the FTSE 100 futures in UK dropping 0.9%. But the losses the Dow Jones and the S&P 500 had yesterday, and as well as the Nasdaq, are way, way higher than the European markets. We're looking at the Dow Jones losing 1.9%, hitting 1 month low. The S&P 500 dropping 2.4%, guys, and the Nasdaq Composite Index dropping 3%. Now, weighing heavily on the market sentiment were comments from Federal Reserve President Jerome Powell, who reiterated the U.S. economy, the world's driver, had a long way to go before recovery and would likely require more support to get there. Finally, we're getting somewhere. He has backed up by the likes of the Federal Vice President Richard Clarida, who said the U.S. economy remains in a deep hole of joblessness and weak demand. Finally, a brave statement. Finally, a brave statement from someone familiar with the matter. However, more fiscal support looks extremely unlikely before the November elections. And check it out, guys, as Congress now seems to be focusing on the battle to replace the late Ruth Bader on the Supreme Court. Now, very interesting to understand, why is the stimulus being delayed to just before November election, guys? Think about it. What greater card a candidate can use than boosting the US economy and making America great again? Okay, so everything has a reason. Okay, try and think long term. Try and expand your horizon a bit and see what is happening long term. Adding to the wows was evidence of the slowing recovery as PMI data showed the US business activity slowed in September. This weakness wasn't confined to America as the recovery of activity also stalled in Europe with a number of new COVID cases flaring up again. The impact of second wave related weakness does not led us to think that the recovery is under more pressure than previously thought, wrote ING Bert Colgan. Right now, let's see what happened with oil. Oil prices weakened today, despite official data showing crude inventories falling by 1.6 million barrels last week on concerns the economic recovery in the U.S., the world's biggest oil consumer, is slowing down. Right, U.S. futures traded lower 0.6% at 39.65. Gold futures fell 0.6% to 18.58, and the Euro USD traded largely flat at 16.60. That was what happened overnight. Let's have another quick review. Right. The answer to the trivia question, guys. Before I forget, the answer to the trivia question, which is, when is the non-farm payroll announced, guys? The answer, again, is very, very easy for beginner and experienced traders. The non-farm payroll is announced every first Friday of every month in the economic calendar. Okay, and in Europe, the non-farm payroll happens around the 3:30 GMT plus 3 time. For the ones of you that knew the answer, well done. For the ones of you that didn't, this is the whole point of having this webinar. Right, now let's have a look at some trading signals coming from investing.com. Okay, we see a strong sell on all 4 time frames on the euro today. Okay, let's have a quick look at the charts again and see how the euro is doing. Right, okay, so apparently no good news is expected to come on the Eurozone. This is what analysts see anyway. Strong sell on all time frames. The pound is still neutral short term, but with strong sell on an hourly and a daily chart, indicating a strong downtrend on the long term. Okay, we see the USD JPY again on a strong sell, probably that tiny correction after a good rally overnight. On the other hand, the USD CHF is in a strong buy as things stand right now. Remember, Switzerland will announce the interest rate in just 2 or 3 minutes from now. So keep an eye on the CHF, guys. There might be a bit of volatility there. Okay, again, we see the Aussie dollar on a strong sell on all time frames versus the US dollar. And the pound on a strong sell versus the Japanese yen on all 4 time frames. Now, let's have a look at the European indices, guys, and see what analysts think about it. Wow, a lot of red on the charts, guys. A lot of red. This is basically the Red Sea. This is how the Red Sea looks like. So, strong sell on American indices, strong sell on European indices on all 4 time frames, guys. All 4 time frames. Very, very strong sell. The only tiny bit of green that we can see is on the ASX 200. Yeah, the S&P and the ASX 200, which again is a strong buy on short time frames on a 5-minute and a 1-hour chart. And the daily still remains as a strong sell. But you have plenty of trading signals here. And if you want more trading signals with an accuracy of up to 75%, guys, it's very, very easy. All you have to do is go on forexc.com. And at the bottom right, you will have the links to the Facebook group that they released last week with trading signals and trading prices, guys, with an accuracy of up to 75%. Okay, all you have to do is go on their website and wait for a few seconds. You will be contacted by customer support. There you go. Yeah, bottom right, that is the Facebook group. Give it a go, guys. Give it a go. Compare the trading signals. See which one works better for you. And join me at 4:30 in the afternoon to ring the bell together for the US opening. This was it from my side for now. Remember to trade responsibly and may all your trades be in the money.